Alright, what up, what up? Much peace out there. Hope you're doing good. Hope you're doing great. Got something on your dinner plate and you know what it is. It's Fair Grow coming through here with another episode. It's Talking Trichome Tuesdays. Keeping it consistent with the YouTube content. Promoting the cannabis culture. So let's see where we're at. Hope everybody is doing good. You know, got that high grade, keeping that ganja going, keeping that culture, keeping that stress-free life. You know what I'm saying? It's hard out there, but got to keep on working. Keep promoting the ideals you want, and there's work for that. Go forward for that, man. That's the way to do it. So I was just going through a few different things upon the internet. Much peace, Buttercup. Thank you for coming through. Actually had the first orientation today at Adelaide Uni, so I went and chilled there for a little while. Big dog, Philly, much peace, my bro. Here, all the good people coming through, man. I really appreciate that. Just having an episode here, talking trichomes, keeping the cannabis culture talk alive. So I went to orientation, got involved, and it was just kind of getting the basis around the campus and all that stuff like that. Yeah, Professor Fairgrow, not quite yet, but maybe give it 6-7 years. It could be a PhD in the old Yandi, the ganja. You know what I'm saying? Professor Yandi over here. But it's good though. You know, it's motivating. Get you back on. What's the word? Kind of not back on track, but just like get you in direction to keep the wheels turning, really, rather than, especially in the time of lockdown, everybody's kind of going on into themselves. You know, you've got to be online a lot. You're in the house. You couldn't really go out for a lot of time in the past few years. So things are slowly coming back, but that will lead to a lot of internal thinking and maybe depressive thoughts. Not for all people, but definitely I probably felt into that zone, got into a rut, and wasn't producing, wasn't making music enough properly. I was just jamming out, and but now I did have it in the head, get on to uni and just get back in that cycle and actually put in the effort properly this time, because I've been there before, and as I've said this previously, just like I was opposed to the way the establishment was created, and I was kind of arguing that with the tutors and the lecturers before I'd actually, pass the subject. So it's probably the way to do it. To highlight your discrepancies through your assignments and essays, and then back your points up rather than just blurt it out and say this is effed up. But anyway, enough of that. It's been just like much peace, and I'll keep back on the cannabis culture. But I went through this website, so it's the TGA. So that's a therapeutic goods something or other over here. They're the people that approve everything, which goes on to it's more than medical cannabis, but the people that are approving all the medical cannabis products. So I found a website of that, and quite interesting. I'll share it now. There's lots of, it's basically tga.gov.au/medical cannabis, and you can, there's all prescribers, the trials, and there's all sorts of stuff here, but it's just interesting to show the specific things. Like I wasn't, category 3 and lower, I guess, is what I'm interested in, the THC ones, but category 3 here, balanced medicinal cannabis product, CBD less than 60%, and less than and more than 40% THC. No, less than 60 and more than 40 in CBD, right? So these are the things. You've got some herb dried for vaporization, so pretty much the dried flower, Novachem, Betty Doll. What does that do? Okay, I don't really like. So yeah, and this comes through. Got the oils there, liquid. Many pages here. Tasmanian Botanics. So let's go. Category 4, THC dominant medicinal cannabis product. THC 60% to 98%. That's pretty potent. So here we go. Products included in Category 4 are Schedule A controlled drugs as per the poison standard and other cannabinoids, including tetrahydrocannabinol derived from cannabis comprise 60% or more and 98% or less of the total cannabinoid content of the medicine. And cannabinol derived from cannabis comprises 2% or more and less than 40% of the total cannabinoid content of the medicine. And also, the medicine contains no other active ingredients. So this would be specific requirements for these. So there's a capsule. So yeah, the things that are that highly potent is pretty much oils and extracts. So capsules, I've heard from the prescribers, they prefer to give that to experienced patients rather than first-time ones because it's hard to dose. Or it's not hard to dose. It's actually a very calculated dose because it's a capsule with one size, but they're high doses. As you can see here, it's a 2.6. Oh wait, no. It doesn't say the actual capacity of it, but they'll be taking 0.2 of a mil. You're trying to dose initially, and then you work your way up with 2 to 0.3 to 0.5, and just what's with the oils. So if you're taking they're probably 1 mil minimum capsule. So you've got to be on a strong dose, mostly for cancer patients and people under that sort of treatment. What else you got here? We'll go down here. THC medicinal cannabis product, less than 98%. Let's see. So what do you got? Capsules, flower here. So here we go. These are the ones kind of where we're at, or the flowers that we're interested in. So you got Tilray whole flower dried cannabis, THC 25. It comes by the Tilray Australia New Zealand company. I was actually looking into that too. I might put it up a bit later, but in becoming a dispensary or to try and get involved in this field of work, there was it didn't seem too difficult. I didn't go all the way. I sent some emails across, but it was like you can become a you get sponsored by the company that you can apply for. So let's just say Tilray or something, and then you can become a dispersal agent type of thing. That's not the word that they call it, but you're not a dispensary, but you're able to then kind of be the middleman and provide product to the people who are wanting to purchase it. I'm not sure if you'd be doing something like middleman to a dispensary, or you can go straight to patients. I really doubt you could go straight to patients, but there's a license involved in that. Don't think it's incredibly expensive, but I'll definitely look into it and try and find out. I had a quick look, and as I said, I emailed off some things, but haven't got anything back. But keep going. Relief flower, Kendrick. So this one here is one I've tried. Kendrick's, it would be this one. Kendrick's Pharmacan THC Floss. So you could see here, floss stands for flowers. I thought it was actually like candy floss. That was the flavor. But that's the brand here. Pretty decent. This Exodus is the strain. I would rate it. It's pretty nice. It's one of the lower priced ones too. It's compared to AMTG and stuff. But yeah, it's really cool. Come and if you want to have a good look, it's obviously really official. And it gives you all the information about those sort of places that you want to get into. It's pretty dope. It's like the Canada review site, but I'll study to become a distributor. I'm actually doing a Bachelor of Arts, and I'll take some sonic arts subjects like it's audio engineering. So how to be scientific about sound waves, and then also record in a professional studio to industry standard. I've taken courses like that, but I'll do a couple more of those. I'm looking into sort of horticulture subjects. Like this is something that option that if it's dedicated to flowers in general and like the complete plant thing, not sure if I'll go too far into that. If there's subjects that's dedicated to cannabis, then I'll definitely look into that. And also Aboriginal studies. I want to be doing that. I'll just go through those. It's pretty broad, and also law actually. So that's really broad, but I'll do those points because I've kind of done those fields before, and it's my interest. So, and as I said, I'll be putting in the effort this time rather than just taking it all for granted. But I appreciate that asking. I'll definitely keep you updated and shit. And I'll be going really what's the word, like keeping at the forefront and pushing hard. I'm going to try and get involved in the university, keep uploading from the university, promote the channel and get involved, getting people to get involved who are driven and have this sort of respect for the culture, but also work ethic to do something. Yeah, thanks, man. I really do appreciate all the good, the nice words and shit. So that's the one, TGA, so check that out. And I'll go, there's another one here I found. Thanks everybody for hanging around, man. Really appreciate it. But if you're checking this on the replay, much appreciation. You know what it is. Whoops, not from there. I need to go to here, there. Now, the investing into the cannabis corporations or, stocks, share prices, and things like that. Because obviously, this industry is going to get much larger. There'll be a fair share slice of the economy, definitely growing and into this industry. It's just at the initial stages now, although it has been maybe 6-7 years since legal medicine, cannabis medicine has been around, but the word is getting out there, and obviously these things will grow. So I'm very interested in trying to invest into something. I had a look recently over the weekend, a couple of weeks ago. Had a look. There wasn't really too much information. If you Google it, there's a few things that are maybe coming onto the market but aren't currently there. There are also a couple ads of a few things that are available, but I'll go. This will coming down here. It's obviously Australia's cannabis industry has gone through numerous ups and downs over the years, but in 2021, there were some big winners in the stock market. A slew of companies saw positive returns as they moved forward at their businesses, and below the Investing News Network has gathered the top ASX cannabis stocks by share price performance last year. Data for this list was collected after markets closed on December 31, 2021. So, number one there, year-to-date gain is a 293.75%, market cap of $670.73 million Australian. I'm not too sure what that means, but the share price currently was 63 cents Australian. So that's pretty cool. And then you got Cronos Australia with a 20% share price and a 53.85 interest gain. IDT Australia. Now the thing is, you'll have to obviously do research into what products are produced by these companies like Ecs, Cronos, and IDT. Like which one makes the ANTG Rocky, or which one makes what is it? What's that brand again? Beacon, Medcan, and all the different like who falls under what. So that's something that it's very interesting. But yeah, something pretty. It is pretty cool. It's because it's going to grow heaps and it's going to help our economy, I guess. But it's got, it's something which is a shame in the sense that corporate takeover is not the way that it should be, because it's not something that should be like was materialized and marketed as an expensive product for the elite class and things like that, because it's not what it should be. This is a natural plant that was given to us by God or the ultimate power or whatever it might be, because it was here when it's been around with humans since the instigation of civilization, I guess, or the earth. So it's a plant that was naturally here, so it should be naturally available to people. A lot of people are going to miss out, which is very unfortunate. So this is something I will drive for too. I do think that the quality is very good. You can make better at your home, like yourself at home, if you're an educated grower. But you know, the legality side of it is great. The price is not great. So that should be lowered, and then the availability to people and the awareness, it should be highlighted more, even to be on the PBS. Now that would be something brilliant to go advocate for. So it can be subsidized, and it might be $5 a script, and also with the sense that people who are medicating more often, I feel they should be given some sort of sense of discount, or there could be a larger purchase made, because that's in the sense I'm falling into this category of 10 days buying a new script, as opposed to somebody doing that every 6 months. The cost is the same. So it works out to be very expensive for somebody who's just trying to achieve um, treatment, to have some satisfaction and relaxation. And, the price is something that's can be a huge hurdle for a lot of people. But it's a pretty cool website here. Thanks everyone for hanging around. What do we got? Cannabis Investing. Change the company name. Blah, blah, blah. Top ASX cannabis stocks of H1 2021. Australian cannabis update. CBD for pets. What's this? See, importing and exporting, that's another major thing. It was interesting to see the price of flowers from Little Green Farmer, which is a Perth-based company growing in Western Australia, seem to be higher than products coming from Canada and overseas in some way. So that's interesting to me. I do want to see the quality of it. So what's this one say? Australia's cannabis export market. Facts to note from last year, June in 2021, written by Ronell Richards. So Australia's cannabis export market has been developing since the legislation of medicinal marijuana. Here's what to know about the landscape. The legislation of medicinal cannabis in Australia, along with the decriminalisation of cannabis in ACT, is creating opportunities for the export market. But what types of cannabis products are being exported from Australia, and where are they going? Read on for a look at Australia's cannabis export market, including how it started up, where the country sends its cannabis products, and what could be next as the nation's marijuana space develops. When did the Australian legalise cannabis exports? Australia legalised the export of medicinal cannabis products from February 2018, about 2 years after cannabis was legalised in the country. However, while medicinal cannabis products can now be exported from Australia, the cannabis plant, the flowers and leaves, as well as cannabis resin, cannot be exported. Some of the products approved for exporting are cannabis oils, sprays, patches, lozenges, and tablets to assist with alleviating pain. All exports must conform to the Narcotic Drugs Act of 1967. Among the other requirements, companies must have both a license and permit to export from the Office of Drug Control and must be listed on the Australian Register of Therapeutic Goods. So, furthermore, exports are only allowed when sending the material out of the country. Would not be detrimental to Australia. That means companies wanting to export must be able to apply or supply local residents first. That's pretty cool. That's a good little clause there, so that we don't really miss out, and it's not about making money. That's patient based. That's good. So if the plant's not available here, it has to come to us first. Australia's top cannabis export markets. Cannabis exports from Australia have been legal for around 3 years now. So where have companies in the country been sending shipments of the drug? A few standouts are Germany. The nation is one of the largest cannabis markets in Europe and relies heavily on imports to satiate, I guess that's satisfy, maybe, satiate the growing demand. It provides products from companies such as Australia's Little Green Farmer, as I was just speaking, in 2019. was the first Australian producer to successfully export medical cannabis to Germany. That's great. So that's the Western Australian one, and they're on the ASX, I guess. There, maybe. There's a link there. The UK is another country taking out exports towards another region. Sorry. Little Creek Pharma also began exporting medicinal cannabis oil to the UK in 2020. The company said at the time that it was the first Australian company to do so. Distribution is through the UK's Astral Health. That's pretty interesting. And then the last one is South Africa. So the top three we're sending to Germany, UK, and South Africa. Canna Pacific and Health House International on the ASX teamed up in 2020 to become the first to export medicinal cannabis products to South Africa. Pretty cool. So recent developments in Australia's cannabis exports, looking at more recent cannabis export activities, privately owned ANTG, Australian Natural Therapies Group, sent its first batch of medicinal cannabis to Germany in January of this year. The shipment, well, that was last year, this 2021 when this was written. The shipment was part of a $92 million export agreement with the Australian Minister for Health, Greg Hunt, has said has the potential to boost economic growth in Australia. Australia's gold standard regulation of medicinal cannabis products, coupled with a premium agricultural and manufacturing industry, means we are well positioned to become a preferred supplier, he noted. The German cannabis market is reportedly the third largest in the world, and the decade-long agreement will see about 2 tons of locally grown and dried cannabis flower exported by mid-2022. That's great news, so that's probably really on the way now. If they are going to plan, they would probably be about 1.75 tons already shipped. That's amazing. I wonder what, what was the revenue gain from that? So in April, ANTG announced a merger with Canada's Asterion Cannabis. Together, the two companies aim to build a large $400 million cannabis farm in Queensland near Toowoomba's Wellcamp Airport. The close location will allow for large-scale exports of commercially grown medical cannabis to Europe. I think that has gone through too. I've heard some information about that, so that's pretty cool. It's a huge farm there. So if you want to read on, definitely check that site out. investingnews.com/Australian Cannabis Exports. I'll just see, because what I put Australian medical cannabis on the ASX, so that was updated January 2022. Okay, yeah. I had a look around on a few different sites. There was a bit of different information out there, so I haven't seen this one yet. Business News Australia, Australia's top 20 cannabis companies. Let's see. Investing in the medical cannabis industry is not for the faint-hearted, as 2020 has shown. It is always accompanied by volatility. With the industry still in its infancy, setbacks are inevitable, as this past year was no exception for many companies on the top 20 cannabis companies list. In many ways, it was a year of consolidation driven by a more favorable regulatory environment in Australia and in emerging international markets, creating more opportunities for growth with a renewed focus. The biggest step forward for Australia's medical cannabis developers was the TGA's ruling in December to approve the over-the-counter sales of low-dose CBD products, those defined as a maximum dose of 150 milligrams a day for adults. So that would be the case of the low-potency CBD oil being available in places such as Chemist Warehouse. So anybody can just go get it over the counter. Although I think the price is quite hefty. It's like a few $100s for a small little bottle, 30 mils or so. But hey, well worth a try because it's pretty good. I don't know about the potency of these low ones, but getting on a high potency CBD oil, I've seen some good benefits. So it opened the way for prescription-free sales of many products from the pharmacist, giving investors reason to believe their investment would begin to pay big dividends, if not literally, at least figuratively. Of course, companies still need to gain approval for their specific formulations of CBD to take advantage of the relaxed regulatory environment, although it has been driven by a new urgency among new and established players to bring their products to the market. Companies are stepping up in their research into areas of unmet needs in treating disorders ranging from sleep apnea to anxiety to chronic pain and multiple sclerosis. Consolidation of the industry is reflected in combined value of companies that appear in this year's Cannabis Top 20, which has risen to more than $1.7 billion, I guess Australian. So trying to find this thing here. One fringe dweller in the investment community is an industry that is gaining attention from the big end of the town. The medicinal cannabis industry this year received a shot when Australia's richest person, Gina Reinhardt, took out 10% stake in Little Green Farm. Well, there you go. That's probably one reason why it kind of boosted and boomed. I didn't know that at all. It was Reinhardt's first ever investment in the sector and has not only shone a spotlight on one of the biggest market gainers, but the industry as a whole. Yeah, that's really true. It's pretty good. Like, she's really, really well-known kind of figure in Australia, in the business world. One of the richest people in Australia, or maybe if not the richest, says it, and due to mining and stuff, and she's a female, so I guess that's going to open up the view from the female audience into this field, which is good, and then also the philanthropists and shit and people like that. So, I mean, it's a good thing, and the thing is, it's a good thing, but then if they're trying to keep it for their interests, I guess, and keep it the availability to only the certain high level or high income people, that's a shame. That's a definite shame and an atrocity, really, because it should be for what it is. It's a plant that's natural and it's out there, and we're running risk of just growing it naturally when we can just find seeds. If you went for a walk and found a plant, you might find a seed, put it in the ground. That's all completely natural thing, and it would grow, and if you nurtured it and paid it attention. So, like, for something like that, and then to be prosecuted for doing something like that when it's like there was an intent there, but there was no malice or something because it was all accidentally found, and you know what I'm saying. It's just like, they need to be on the grassroots. If she's out there investing, then I hope she does realize the whole scheme and scope of it, and not just have profit in her eyes. So let's go here, the top 20 ones. So once again, top 20 cannabis companies. I haven't seen this. So Ecofiber, EOF, head office in Sydney. Official listing 29th of March 2019, 2020 position number 1, market capitalization of $273 million. Wow. So that's pretty cool. Keep going down. Interconnect Healthcare, that's the one that was the one to invest in on the other page. You see the information there. $256 million market cap. I don't know what market cap means though. Cresco Pharma, head office in Perth. Little Green Farmer, as we were talking about, head office in Perth. Can Group, CAN, head office in Melbourne. Althea, head office in Melbourne. Heard of that one. MGC Pharmaceuticals, head office in Perth. Another one, Perth, but head office in Perth for Botanics. It might be the sunshine there, the all year, all around growing capability. IDT Australia, head office in Melbourne. Zelera Therapeutics in Perth, again. MedLab Clinical in Sydney. Ozcan Group in Perth, again, man. Wow, there's so many in Perth. Literally, that's like 10 of the 13 have been in Perth. Emeria Limited. Elenox Wellness in Sydney. Neurotech International in Perth, Rhinomed in Sydney, Bod Australia, head office in Sydney, Can Global, it's on the ASX, it's in Sydney, Avetcho Biotech in Melbourne, and the bringing up number 20 is Ecs Botanics in Sydney. Nice little picture there of the founder and CEO in the field. Decent sized plants there. Look at that, they're probably all about, 5 foot or so, 4.5 foot. And there's hundreds, if not thousands, in the field. All sun grown too. Awesome. Yeah. Alright, so yeah. Hey, what's up, everybody? Thanks for staying around. Just went back into here. So we got Brendan, Buttercup, Big Dog, Cedar, King B, Aussie Tizzy, Mika. Thank you very much for coming through and checking it out. We're on half an hour, so probably I might shut it down. But there's some information there for the Aussie cannabis, and the industry. Just keeping the advocacy up and promoting the culture for the right reasons. Know what I'm saying? So stay with your high grade, and continue to promote the culture, and just be what you be. As I say, look inside yourself, find your direction, and follow that path. Be the best you can be honest, and be yourself. Follow your intuition and trust your gut instinct. Much peace from Fair Grow. See you guys on Thursday. Stay good, stay fresh. Thanks for listening, man. Thank you very much.